All right, we are back December 25th, 2025. Today I am in Miami, back home. I'm going to take you guys around today where I grew up from basically 0 to 18. We're going to see my elementary school. We are going to see my middle school, my high school, where I grew up playing baseball. For those who don't know, I did play baseball basically my entire life up into college. What else? And so if you don't know, and guys, this is going to be a fun video to do, but I am still processing the passing away of Adam the Woo. Still shocking to me. So I do have some tribute videos planned for him back when we get back home to Orlando and to Celebration. I have some ideas of things that I think he would have liked. Okay. I am from a suburb, a large suburb in Miami called Hialeah. I'm also going to film some locations in Miami Lakes. They're next to each other. It's where I'm from. It's where I grew up, all the way up until the age of 36. But today we're going to focus on 0 to 18, okay? Like, subscribe, and let's roll. Okay, so this is the entrance to my elementary school, Palm Lakes Elementary. Looks like it hasn't changed since I attended here, which would have been, born 86, probably started elementary around 4 or 5. So we're talking 91, 92, all the way up into probably, 4 or 5 is probably too young, but I mean, whatever. So basically kindergarten to 5th grade. Let's take a tour around and see what it looks like. So there's the front entrance, and now we're gonna walk along this road that you see to my right is referred to as 16th Avenue. Old 16th. There is the sign for the school, Palm Lakes Elementary. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this sign was put into place a year after I left, so I would have been in 6th grade. And then you see the little wall behind it with the circles. That was also put into place not shortly after I left or I was attending the school. So let's make our way to the teacher parking lot. It is open. Shouldn't be a problem me going in there. I just want to show you some of that footage of the basketball courts over there. And let's go. Okay. Now, this is the back area of the school. This brings back a lot of memories. A ton. I don't know where to begin, really. The PE teacher, he was located right out of here. Let's see if I can get my finger right here, this building. All the PE equipment is there, physical education, with Mr. G. That's a throwback. And then in this building over here is what we used to refer to as the rec, right? Many, many days as a young kid playing basketball here. We would play stickball behind this building right here. We would play stickball. Just everything you can imagine. Dodgeball. We played a game called Guard the Pin. Let me see again. There we go. Yeah, we played a game called Guard the Pin, which is basically dodgeball, and you had to hit the pin that was behind everybody, and you'd win the game. Not to toot my own horn, but I was one of the best athletes out here, I think my friends would say. But yeah, many, many, many memories. See where this tree is back here? Right over here. Used to watch my friend Hector wrestle back there. He was a big wrestling fan. He was a wrestler himself. Used to watch him back there. He'd do matches and super exciting and super fun. Very, very nostalgic memories. Awesome. Here's a closer look. Now, where I spent a lot of time here was during the summers when school was off. Man, we get here at, felt like 9, 10 in the morning. We wouldn't leave till our parents picked us up till 6, 7 at night. I played baseball here in the summer as well, along with my, spring and fall leagues. I used to play with, my friends like Jose. We used to call him Loquito. That's like, crazy kid in Spanish, but he was actually really nice. Humberto, Damien, Jack, Tony, Domenico, Pedro. God, I miss Pedro. What a guy. But what else? But many memories. Even with a guy I used to know, he was pretty cool. Jefferson, David. These are just names that I have in my head that I remember. Of course, you guys still know Tony and Jack. I'm very close with them. And yeah, a lot of great memories out here. I think it's miles in. This tree to the right, I think it's been here literally my entire life. Beautiful tree. Beautiful tree. You can zoom out a little bit. There we go. Look at this thing. Many memories here. Mom picking me up, dad picking me up, grandma picking me up. Where we're from, we say abuela picking me up. You just don't appreciate those times when you're that age. You're not living in the moment. But as an almost 40-year-old man, you look back on them with reverence and nostalgia. Here's another side shot of the school. And for the record, my sister did come here too, obviously, and so did Sophia and Penelope. All right, we are now at my middle school. We are talking 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's what your typical middle school looks like in Miami, Florida. We are no longer in Hialeah. We're now in an area called Miami Lakes that is adjacent to Hialeah. There it is, Miami Lakes Middle. Formative years. Hold on, we got a car passing by. Formative years here. And yes, this school was also attended by my beautiful future bride, Melissa. There's the front entrance. They recently did a paint job on the school. It looks very nice. Some of the teachers that I remember here when I was attending, Mrs. Cruz, I think she was my 6th grade homeroom teacher. We also had, I remember Mr. Saperstein. Mr. Saperstein was the science teacher. He looked like a science teacher. If they created one in a lab, I mean, I don't want to say it. He's a very nice guy. He looked like Albert Einstein. And I remember also Mr. Tio. This guy was a button away math teacher, and he was a great math teacher. Great math teacher. Strict but fair. And this area right here, I was involved in a physical altercation, also known as a fight in school, in 8th grade. I remember the kid's name was Kerwin. We actually became pretty good friends in high school. Oh. This over here is a private school called Our Lady of Our Lakes. Pretty good school. So yeah, the fight was here. We got off the bus, we fought. Obviously I won. Yeah, I was suspended. I was suspended for the Monday and Tuesday before Thanksgiving break. So it was a nice holiday. I remember I called my dad on the phone on a landline. If you can remember those. Called him on a landline, and the first thing that my dad said to me, former police officer in the 80s in Miami, He goes, did you defend yourself? And I said, yes. He goes, good. He goes, just hang out, and he goes, try not to get in trouble in school anymore. It's my dad. Yeah. Good old Miami Lakes Middle. Here's another entrance. I don't know if you can see it with the sun in the shade, but yeah, take a little walk around. Here's the back of the school. Again, we're not going to go on school grounds. There you go. Here's the PE room over here to the right. Over here. Yep. Many days playing basketball out there as a young lad. PE teachers, I just remembered this, for 6th grade was Miss Baumholtz, fantastic PE teacher, very nice lady. Got to know her when I was a little bit older. And Mr. Wilson, also a fantastic PE teacher. Also got to know him a little bit as I got older, and yeah, very good memories with them. Mr. Wilson, as a matter of fact, if you were like in trouble or anything like that, he would make you sit at the green dot in the middle of the basketball court in the sun for an extended amount of time. He called it the circle of life. I think he called that because maybe he was a fan of the film The Lion King, but either way, it sucked being in the circle of life, I can tell you that much. All right, so that's my elementary school, that's my middle school. Before we go to my high school, let's go grab a bite to eat. Show you some authentic Miami food, which is basically Latin food. And of course, a lot of Jamaican, Haitian influence as well. But let's go. All right, guys, I'm at a place called Abuelita's Kitchen. If you translate that, that is Grandma's Kitchen. But very limited options right now. Things are closed on Christmas Day. But this is just a guava pastry. And yeah, let's eat it. Here's a little view of your typical restaurant in Hialeah, Florida, where I'm from. This is a Cuban restaurant. Very authentic. Pretty good food so far. Oh. There we go. And if you look closer at the wall, you can see some of the Cuban memorabilia there. There we go. Most restaurants in Hialeah always playing Telemundo, which is like the CNN and Fox News combined for Spanish news. Okay, this is what we call in Miami a pan con bistecs. Okay, pan con bistec. It's a Cuban sandwich. It's basically pretty self-explanatory. It's a steak sandwich. I like mine's only with onions and these little chips that they put on there. Okay? Pretty good sandwich. Okay, and there's my high school. Hialeah Miami Lakes Senior High, otherwise known as HML. And this is where the fun begins in life. There it is. Located in Northwest Miami-Dade. Many memories here. And yes, Melissa attended high school here too. And yes, we knew each other. But we would not become boyfriend and girlfriend till years down the road. This is the track. See the lines. It has seen better years. It looks exactly the same as to when I went to high school here, which is, I guess, not a good thing. Very, very, very worn out. I was a baseball player, so I didn't really see too much of this area. So we're walking over to the baseball field. Take a little look at that. Here's the student parking lot over here. A lot of it hasn't changed at all, to be honest. It feels like it has a lot more fencing, but looks the same. By the way, graduated in 2004. Home of the Trojans. Another shot of the back of the school from the student parking lot. Wow, so this brings back memories here on the baseball field. I'm actually on the first base side. Yeah, so this is where I played baseball in high school. Got a deep center field. Many, many times I hit it out there. Got a double or triple. But this is pretty incredible. It looks exactly the same as to when I was in high school. That dugout over there is the home dugout. I'm on the visitor side dugout, but a lot of memories here. I had a game here where I went 5 for 5 off of Jackson. We played Jackson High School, which they're not a baseball school. They're a football school. Many, many games out here against American High School, Barbara Goldman. What else? Carroll City High School was in our district. It's sad that it doesn't look nicer, but you know, it is what it is. Look at our scoreboard out there. Look how big it is, huh? That's a big scoreboard, isn't it? It's in the center of the screen. Wow. Some of the guys that grew up playing baseball here with, so I can remember all their names. Anthony. Can't forget Anthony. Alex, Ecliff, Oscar. These were guys on my team. So we're looking at, okay, Anthony, Ecliff, Oscar. Ecliff was a pitcher. Alex was a pitcher. Frankie was a catcher. These are guys that I play with. Alex, can't forget him. Yandro, Willie. What else am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting a bunch, but I mean, I grew up playing baseball with Alex and Miami Lakes Optimus, but if you could only go back and appreciate those times, and I think I appreciated them, but not as much as when you're sitting here 20 years later. Yeah, almost 20 years later, yeah. 21 years later, actually. Fun fact, my uncle, David Marrero, came here in the early 90s and was a all-county player. I was all-county. I believe I was either third team, which means I'm all-county third team, or I was on the honorable mention team. I don't remember. I think I have the newspaper clipping, but I just can't remember. I had it for a while. I might have thrown it away, but he hit a ball from home plate to the Gratney Expressway, which is that cement wall you see all the way back there. That's got to be at least 450 feet. Many, many memories watching my parents, my friends, sitting in those stands over there. Awesome. Now, you see the soccer goalposts out here in right field? The soccer guys were always practicing out there behind the fence towards the back of the field. not on the baseball field, so that's new. Wow, they're even playing games here because they got the lines out. But here's another shot of the field. I would run around the bases, but probably not a good idea at my age and my current weight. And if you want to know, I played first base, predominantly in my senior year. I started out in left, but they moved me to first, right here, right on the field. Okay, we're back here in Miami Lakes Optimist Park, which is right next to my middle school. I wanted to end the video by showing you where I grew up playing baseball from 13 years old to 15 years old. I was going to go where I originally started in Hialeah at about 4, 5, 6 years old. I can't recall the exact age, but which that park is known as Corey. The actual park is called Babcock Park, but Corey was, I mean, you can't even imagine the memories that I have there, especially with my father, my mother, just, you know, growing up playing baseball there. It was a different time. We're talking early 90s. We're talking, you know, dads yelling, fist fighting. I mean, it was real competitive, and it bred a lot of great baseball players. One I know for sure made it out to he made it to the major leagues and had a really good career. Gio Gonzalez, played against him in high school, grew up playing against him. But yeah, overall, great memories at Corey. Great memories here. This is, you know, middle school, pre-teen, going into teen years. When I played here, I remember that the jerseys that you wore, the teams were actually made up of actual real Major League Baseball teams. So for instance, my first year here, I was the St. Louis Cardinals. My second year, I was the Mets. The third year, I was the Mariners. Just for the record, I did win the championship 2 out of the 3 years. So I won it with the Cardinals, I won it with the Mets, and with the Mariners, I got to the championship, but we lost. So what's the overall point of me saying that? I was really good at baseball. Explain to me how a Little League baseball field looks nicer than a high school baseball field. Why don't we start there? Here's the dugout, right? If you've ever played Little League baseball, you know that this hole right here is where mom and dad hand you a nice cold Gatorade. Being that this park, obviously, I grew up playing baseball here. I also grew up coming here a lot with my friends, playing two-man ball, my friends from high school, after high school, a lot of football games, flag football games. What else? Ton. I used to practice hitting baseballs. Right? You know, I used to practice my hitting there, even into high school. So yeah, a lot of memories here. Flag football, usually, you know, on Thanksgivings, a lot of years there'd be guys come out here like every Thursday night, every Wednesday night. Usually it was my friend Jack that was the one that knew of people playing, and he'd tell me to come along. Great memories. Weird too, you know, years past you would see people on, especially on Christmas morning, or even especially Thanksgiving morning, playing football, but there's nobody playing. Strange. Times are definitely different. Well, that's gonna do it for today. This was basically my childhood, was baseball, friends, school. You know, grew up in, you know, my home was amazing. Grew up in my grandmother's house with my mom, my sister. You know, parents got divorced early when I was about a year old. But, you know, Dad was very much in my life, always been in my life, will always be in my life. Same thing with my mom, my sister, and I couldn't have asked for a better childhood, really. Some of the memories that I made out, like when I was mentioning Corey League, when I was 10 years old, I actually felt paralyzed with Guillain-Barré. Back then, it wasn't really known what it was or, you know, what it did to the human body. But my dad says that my little league coaches would go out there and, you know, they would start crying, seeing me in the hospital bed and not being able to move my legs and part of my arm, but was able to rehab and get back to normal. So always appreciate what we have in this life, especially now with Adam the Woo gone, horrifically, tragically, but his memory lives forever. Guys, like, subscribe. I'm out.